So this lesson is going to be on using an Excel workbook as an address book to create mailing labels in Word. So one of the first things that you need to do is to access your Excel workbook to be sure that it is formatted correctly. So with the sample that I have on my screen, on the surface, it looks like it would be perfectly arranged. However, what you cannot have for this to happen will be this information that is at the top. So in rows 1 and 2, that information will confuse the process. So what you want to do is you want to remove any additional columns, or I'm sorry, any additional rows that are at the top, especially if it has any kind of information in it. So I am going to delete those rows. And the other thing you need to make sure it just makes it go more smoothly is that you have these labels. So title, first name, last name, street address, city, state, and zip code. Although those are not required, they do help. So you want to make sure that your workbook is formatted very similar to mine, and then you can save it and close it. And then you want to go into Microsoft Word, open a blank document, and once you are here, then you want to access your mailing tab. And from here, it becomes a pretty simple process. So with Mail Merge, basically what you're going to be doing is just moving across this ribbon. And so we're going to start with a Mail Merge, and then you will tell it what you are creating. In this case, we will be creating labels. So here you will select the type of label that you use. That will be, sometimes you can find it in on either the top or the bottom of the actual label, but if you still have the envelope or the sleeve that those labels came in, it absolutely will list. Most common is going to be an Avery label, typically Avery US, and for basic mailing labels, you are going to typically use a 5160. So you would scroll until you find the number of the product you are using. That is very important because it will allow your printed image to line up with the labels that you are using in your printer. So you select the type of label that you're using. I have Avery, the 5160 address labels, and I'm going to click OK. So now I have what are called grid lines. These small gray lines show you where one label ends and the next one begins. If you have those and you like them, that is fantastic. If you have them and you don't like them, you can go to the layout tab that you will see here, and you can remove the grid lines. On the flip side, if your document looks like mine does right now and you want those grid lines, you can click View Grid Lines. They do not print, they just give you some guidelines. So once you have this set up, I'm going to go back to the Mailings tab. So next thing you need to do is select Recipients. So this is where you are going to locate and access that Excel workbook with your addresses. So I'm going to use an existing list, and then you will go to wherever you have yours saved. Mine happens to be in Documents. I will select the workbook, and you will see I only have one worksheet in my workbook. However, if this was a more complex workbook with multiple sheets, you would select the worksheet that has just those names and addresses listed. So mine is sheet 1 because I did not name it. So I'm going to click OK. This is what you're going to see. So from this point, You can edit your recipients list if you wanted to. This would allow you to go in and remove people from the list if you needed to. But we're going to jump over to insert merge fields. So this can seem a little time consuming and this may seem a little overwhelming. However, it is crucial. So you are going to click the arrow beside the word field, and I'm going to insert the title, and then you want to press the space bar, and then I'm going to go back to merge field, insert first name. This is why those headers or those labels in your Excel spreadsheet are so important. After first name, I'm going to press the space bar, insert last name, then I can press enter. So what you see around the words title and first name and last name, those are called chevrons. This is creating what are called merge fields. So this is telling Excel exactly, or I'm sorry, telling Word exactly where to blend this document with that information in your Excel workbook. So now I'm on the next line. I'm going to go back to merge field, insert street address, press enter, and then I'm going to insert the city, a comma, a space, insert state, 2 spaces, and then insert zip code. So now I have created one label that is formatted exactly as I want it to be. So what I need to do next, and this is a critical step, you need to click where it says update label. So I need to take this one perfect label, click update labels. So now all of the labels are formatted according to how I set up the first one. So from this point, you could do a couple things. So you could preview your results to see what it's going to look like. And this will show you what the labels will look like. You could print from this point if you wanted to. And you also can finish and merge. When you finish and merge, you have 2 options, actually 3 options, but in this case, you can edit the individual documents, which will give you a savable document, or you can print. So if you print, it will send what we see here directly to your printer, so you now will want to make sure you have label paper in your printer. If you edit, so just a note, so if you look at the top, this is called document 1. So when I click finish and merge and I edit the individual document, I'm going to leave it as all and click OK. So although this looks the same, this is a brand new document. So labels 1 is a finished product. So I can save this and it will always be these exact labels. And then I can print it, I can do whatever I need to do with it. However, when we go to document 1, this is an actual merged document, so this is not finished, but it will have all of these merged fields, so it would allow you to be more flexible if your address book would change, that Excel workbook address book would change. So I hope this makes sense to you. Mail merge can save a lot of time, even if it seems a little tedious at first.